Hey word nerds, Kate here. Today's words are all about rejections and endings, which I know sounds very sad and depressing, but I promise it's not meant to be. So I guess to kick things off, we'll start with rejection. Gosh, no matter how I say it, it really just doesn't sound nice. So if you've been following me on Facebook, you know that I've recently sent out a couple short stories to some different magazines, and last week I finally heard back from one of them, and they said no, which is kind of a first for me. I've been pretty lucky as a writer so far. I've never had any of my work rejected, which it hurts a little bit. I mean, you sit in classes and you hear people talk about how when they're rejecting your work, they're just saying this isn't what we're looking for right now. They're not saying you're bad, or at least they shouldn't be, because that's just mean. But it's still this work that I've made and that I've poured part of myself into, and they're saying we don't want that. And it's hard not to take that personally, but at the same time, I'm almost kind of glad it got rejected. This is gonna sound so crazy, but like I said, I've never had any of my work rejected before, and not that I don't consider myself a writer until I've had something rejected, because that's just stupid. But dealing with rejection is something I've heard a lot about and never really been able to relate to. And so I feel like now I understand that better. And I think I dealt with it well. I mean, yes, it was kind of sad that they didn't want my story, but at the same time, maybe someone else does, and I'm not gonna know if I just keep that story on my laptop and never send it out again because I'm scared. So you just gotta push through it. I mean, I think part of the reason I'm taking this as well as I am is I was involved in theater for a very long time, and in theater or at least I very rarely got the parts that I wanted in shows, and so you learn very early on to just kind of get a thick skin and take the constructive criticism and ignore the part of you that says I'm not good enough. Push through anyway, because you never know, there might be something better waiting for you, but you can't let fear of failure keep you from trying. And it's hard, it's very hard, but it helps to have people who support you, and you guys have been so great, and I love you all very much, and so thank you so much for being supportive of me and my writing career. Tea. Tea makes everything better. So on to my second point, which is endings. Yesterday was the last day of my internship, and I'm feeling a little sad about that. I mean, I really enjoyed the 8 weeks I got to spend working on this magazine, and it just was such an incredible experience, you guys. And since some of you are going to be asking me this anyway, I thought I would just go ahead and get it out of the way and tell you my 3 favorite things from my internship. Number 1 would be people. Definitely people by far. I was here with 5 other interns. We weren't all in the same department, but we met together for lunch most days, and we met once a week for devotions, and we got together on weekends and did some really fun things like horseback riding and a high ropes course and whitewater rafting, which I unfortunately missed, but it was still really great getting to know them and spending time with them, and one of them actually goes to my school. I also was working with some really great people. They were very supportive, very helpful, very informative. I learned a lot from them, and I felt like my work was valued, and like I was valued even though I was only an intern, and I didn't have to go get coffee for them or anything. So that was just a really wonderful experience. I also got to spend the summer with my grandparents, which was really neat. I grew up in a different state from them, so visits to them were usually limited to once a year, maybe. And as I've grown older, I started missing some of those as I've had other plans, and so it was really nice to spend time with them and get to know them as people, and for them to get to know me as an adult and not just a little kid anymore. I feel like we've really grown closer, and I'm really gonna miss them when I go home. I've been so grateful to them for letting me stay with them and for feeding me and spoiling me rotten, because let's face it, they totally have, but I'm not gonna complain about that. Second best thing about my internship was the experience. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of this internship, is to get experience, even if I'm not getting paid for it. But having talked with the other interns, I feel like mine is much more tangible. Yes, they feel like they've contributed and that they've learned things, but I get bylines, and I get to show this is what I've done and people are seeing it. And that is just really neat. And it's a little nerve-wracking knowing that, people are going to see my work. And, I mean, thousands of people are going to read this. And hopefully it's good. I mean, I don't think the editors would publish anything that was bad, but it's always hard when people are going to see your work. It's hard to know how they're going to react. Actually, not knowing how they're going to react. But I feel so grateful for all the experience that I've gotten over this past 8 weeks. Third favorite thing about the internship, probably the place. I mean, this is going to sound really kind of shallow and strange, but I love Colorado. It is absolutely beautiful, and there's so much to do, and I just really like mountains, guys. And it kind of reminds me of Ireland sometimes, which, if you know me, you know how much I love Ireland. So, it's so beautiful, and hiking and biking and riding and doing all sorts of crazy things. It's just been such a blast. I mean, there's always something to do, and it's just so neat. If you're interested in more of my words, you can check out links below to my blog, Facebook page, and Twitter account. I love to hear from you, so please comment below and let me know how you deal with rejection. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you will see me next time, word nerds. But I'm watching Harry Potter, and I didn't turn it off because I like it so much, so I just have it muted on the screen up there. I'm a nerd.